Hello, everyone. My name is Malcolm Eastman, and today I'm going to be showing you guys static routes in Cisco's packet tracer. Right. So this is going to be a pretty quick, short demonstration, tutorial. So as you can see here, I have two different networks, right? 192.10.10.0 with a WAC24, and then I have 192.10.11.0, also a WAC24. I also have a third network here as well, which would be 192.10.13.0, which is a WAC 30, right? And the whole purpose of this lab is to have the ability to communicate across both networks, right? So what we would need to do, we would need to configure static routes, right? Because these PCs here would be able to ping this router here, because I've already done all the configurations. I've already set up the IP addresses for each of these two devices and these two devices over here. I've also configured the IP addresses for the routers as well, right? So let me show you what happens when I try to ping from this PC to this PC over here, right? I'm going to go into our command prompt and I'm going to ping 192.10.11.2. So it's going to tell me, it's telling me that the host is unreachable, destination host unreachable, and then they just kind of time out. So I sent 4 packets and 0 were received, right? Let's check and make sure that I can ping my default router, which on this side of the packet lab, it's going to be 192.10.1. Excuse me. I forgot to put ping. And I get a ping, right? So I can ping everybody within here, and obviously I can also ping the PC1 over here as well. But I want to get over here and ping these other routers. I mean, this network and this switch over here as well. So how I do that, I need to go into this switch right here. This router right here, and I need to open up the command line. And it's a pretty simple situation, right? So I'm going to go into enable conf T. And now that I'm in the configuration, I'm now configuring the router. So I'm on router 1, and I want to get to router 3 so I can be able to ping these devices over here. So the command is IP route, and I want to get to 192.10.11.0. So that's our destination. There's 3 parts to this command: destination, subnet mask, next hop. So now I need to put in our subnet mask. So it's a WAC24, and a WAC24 subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. The next hop. What is our next hop? So if we look over here, right, I want to go this way. So our next hop would be this right here. So that would be 192.10.13.2. So that'd be 192.10.13.2. Right? So now we've configured. Now the reason I didn't put .1 is because the router is connected to .1 as well. I already have that configured. But I'm not done, right? I also want to make sure, because when you do a ping is basically where you go and say, hello, are you there, right? If I never get a response back, I won't know if that PC is over there. So I want to make sure that I have a route back so I can get back that, yes, I am here, right? So I say hello, because when I pinged and I got no response, that was just me basically saying hello and hello over and over again, without saying, hello, I'm here, right? Back from the PC that I was trying to ping. So I want to exit out of this router here, router 1. Now that I'm out of router 1, I'm going to go into router 2. And I was making some configuration. So let me just back out all the way so we can do it the right way. So enable Then we're going to do conf T, which is short for configuration terminal. And then I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to do IP route, and I want to get to 192.10.10.0, right? Destination, subnet mask, WAC 24, so it's 255.255.255.0. And what's our next hop? Let's take a look. So it's going to be, again, since I'm going the opposite direction, it's going to be right here, which is going to be 192.10.13.1. So it's going to be 192.10.13.1, right? And we're pretty much finished with that. Now, why didn't I configure any routes for this route here right in the middle? Well, I really don't need to, because this is a point-to-point connection. The reason why it's a WAC 30 subnet mask, a WAC 30 subnet mask has two usable addresses, which is going to be .1 here and then .2 over there. Generally, when you see a slash or a WAC 30, it's generally a point. It's pretty much going to be used as a point-to-point connection, point-to-point network. So that's why I'm using it for here in the purpose of this lab, right? So now that we have configured our two switches, let's go and try this again, right? So we're going to open back up PC and we'll go back to the command prompt, right? And we're going to try again to get back. We're going to try to ping 192.10.11.2. Let's see what happens. So if we configured everything correct, we should get a response. And we do. We get a response, right? As you can see right here, we get a reply back from 192.10.11.2, right? So that's essentially how you would configure a static route. So let's just go over what we did really quickly, just so we're all on the same page. So we have these two networks here, right? As well as this third one, this point-to-point connection network, and that's why it's a WAC 30. So under the initial configurations here, when we first started this tutorial, we wouldn't be able to communicate to these two. These two networks would not be able to communicate. So what we had to do, we had to configure static routes. When you hear static, that is a manual configuration of a route. It's not dynamic, not OSPF, right? We're not there yet. We're doing manual configuration of IP routes. And we do that using the router, right? So again, let's go back into the router one and just take a look back again at the command. Let's go back up here. So again, remember, there's three parts to the IP route command. There's the destination, is what you're going to put first. So again, for this situation, it was 192.10.11.0. That's where we want to go. And then the next one is going to be our subnet mask, 255.255.255.0, which is a WAC 24. And then the next hop, that's that's our direction. Where are we going to get to this destination? 192.10.13.2. Right? That's how we configure our IP static routes. Okay? Sometimes you might have to do this when you're having in a local, your local LAN, right? You got two different routes, you got a couple routers, or maybe you have to do this maybe over a wide area network, right? Generally, most people, when we're not using static routes, for instance, for communications outside of our particular LAN, you can use border gateway protocol. And for inside of our LAN, right, inside of our network, right, with our routers, we're going to be using OSPF, which is dynamic. So again, static, manual configuration, dynamic, we're not configuring each and every single route. OSPF, for example, will, once you input certain commands, and again, I'm going to do a tutorial on OSPF as well, where with OSPF, you input the network command on using your router, and what that will do, it will dynamically go out and learn the routers that are on that particular network, and then it'll build its routing table dynamically, right? That's generally what you're going to see. But again, I think it's very important to understand how to do a static route so that you can configure a static route. And it's good. Again, it's good to know. So you never know when you might need to configure one, right? But again, this was just configuration of a static route. I kind of wanted to keep this pretty short and sweet, just because again, it's not a really in-depth tutorial. Pretty simple, and I wanted to keep the lab as simple as possible, just to kind of explain that point. But again, yeah, this was static routes. This is how we configured them, right? And yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me at Malcolm Eastman at malcolmeastman.tech. And you can also reach out to me on LinkedIn at Malcolm Eastman. Right? Please enjoy your day, and thank you for joining me. And I look forward to seeing you in the next tutorial.